What is going on, traders, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. Glad to have you. Now in this video, we're going to talk about what happened last week and what could possibly happen this week. So this is the watch list for the trading week of January 24th, 2022. Let's get to it. All right, here I have the SPY pulled up on the daily. Now I had a lot more levels on this one prior to the sell-off, but as the markets sold off, it just blew through all the support levels that I had and they were no longer significant, so I went ahead and removed them. The only one that I still have is this gap fill that the SPY reached but has not broken through yet, so that's the reason why this one is still on the list. So let's zoom in a little bit more on this one, take a look, and you can see right here it got to the bottom of this gap fill and started to curve. So it's going to be interesting to see what this one does on Monday. If it breaks below 436.50 or so, then I have it going all the way down to around 428. All right. So keep this on your watch list and you'll be able to watch and see what the SPY is going to do this upcoming week. If it continues to sell off, then it can come all the way down to here. All right, and you know, if it's coming down to here, then that means it's going to be shorts across the board. All right, so keep that in mind. Now on the other side of that, if the SPY does decide it wants to curl first thing in the morning, I would not get into any positions before it gets over $439, because you know it could start running up first thing and everybody's like, oh yeah, it's a reversal, and they start getting into long positions. And as soon as it gets to 439, it breaks right back down, trapping everybody in bad calls and bad positions. All right, so keep that in mind when you're watching how this thing runs first thing in the morning. If it does decide it wants to run up, now if it wants to run up and it does not come back down and it breaks through here, the first level that I'm looking at for it to come test is around 443.50. This line right here is the pre-market low from Friday, and this one right here is the pre-market high from Friday. Okay, so play this in both directions. Just play what you see. If it goes down, you know what to do, and if it goes up, you know what to do. All right, up next is Netflix, ticker symbol NFLX. Now here I have Netflix pulled up on the weekly chart, and we did have Netflix on the watch list last week because their earnings were coming up. And where this white arrow is where we were prior to last week's trading. Now what I said was if Netflix has bad earnings, I want to see if it could hold 507. If it can't hold 507, I'm looking for it to drop all the way down to 479. Well, that was a low estimate because this thing decided to want to tank over $100 overnight. It got as low as $380. All right. So if the market decides it wants to continue to sell off next week, the next level that I'm looking for Netflix to hold is around $371. And if it can't hold that, the level under that is going to be $334. All right. So keep Netflix on your watch list to the downside if the market decides it wants to sell off. If it does not sell off, I'm really not looking for Netflix to run that high. The high it may get to is around $425 at the highest, according to my estimates. All right, so keep Netflix on your watch list. All right, up next is Nvidia, ticker symbol NVDA. Now here I have Nvidia pulled up on the weekly chart, and last week I was telling you that I noticed that Nvidia likes to honor the 20-week moving average, and if it doesn't hold the 20-week moving average, that it likes to come down and bounce off the 50-week moving average. But I also said that there was significant support around $230, and the stock is just about there right now. Now if the market decides it wants to sell off some more next week, then I'm looking for Nvidia to come down and test this $207 level. Now, if the market is bullish, then Nvidia, I'm looking for it to come up to $264, $265. All right, so keep this one on your watch list. All right, up next is Rivian, ticker symbol RIVN. Now here I have Rivian pulled up on the weekly chart, and you can see right here it doesn't have much history because it IPO'd back in November of last year. Rivian did get almost to $180, but it has sold off since then around 65%. It got as low as $60.50 last week before it got bought up and closed around 64.50. All right, now with this stock, this is uncharted territory because you can see right here the IPO day or the IPO week, it's below that, so there's really nothing to go by. But from my personal opinion, I don't really see any news coming out for Rivian that'll stop this from tanking even further. Their next earnings is way in the middle of March, which is a month and a half away. So I don't really see any news coming out that'll make this bounce right now. It's apparent that some buyers felt that $60.50 was a good price to pay for Rivian. They bought it up around $4.50. But if the market continues to sell off and Rivian can't hold $60, I'm looking for Rivian to drop another $10 to around $50. Now at that point, it might be even more buyers that say, Rivian's a good price at $50, a good buy at $50, and they may try to bounce it from there. But I wouldn't be too hopeful on that either. But so keep Rivian on your watch list to the downside if the market continues to sell off. All right. All right, up next is Carvana, ticker symbol CVNA. Now here I have Carvana pulled up on the weekly chart, and you can see it's been as high as $376 before it started to sell off. Now it's blew through the 20, the 50, and the 200 week moving average, and I don't really see anything stopping this from falling even further. So the next level that I'm looking for Carvana to come test is around $100.50. So keep this one on your watch list to the downside also. All right. All right, the last one I'm going to talk about is the Russell 2000 ETF, ticker symbol IWM. Here I have it pulled up on the weekly chart. Now this ETF tracks a lot of the small cap and growth stocks that are getting hit pretty hard with this market sell-off. And I tweeted about the $205 level on this one because it had bounced off this level back in January of 2021. And I said if it can't hold this $205 level that I was looking for it to drop all the way down to 190. Now it hasn't gotten that yet, but it's possible that it could come. And if it can't hold 190, it's possible to come all the way down to like 173 or so. So just keep this in mind when you're holding these small cap and growth stocks, thinking that you're going to get a double up or something like that. Now, if it's in your long-term portfolio and you're just going to average down or that type of thing, consider hedging against your shares or your, the tickers that you do want to hold on to with some puts. So if the stock continues to sell off, then you can make a couple of dollars while it drops to offset some of the losses in your long-term portfolio. All right. So keep that in mind when you're holding and you're watching these small cap and growth stocks. All right. And that is the end of the video. If you found value, please smash that like button and consider subscribing. Here's wishing you a prosperous week of trading. And until next week, talk to you later.